Ladies as well as gentlemen, Papa Boris here with some more Hearthstone Arena gameplay. Bit of an awkward choice here. I just played Hunter, I played Shaman like twice in very rare recent times. Plus I'm scared to play Shaman, it used to be my best class and now it's just kind of falling on down there. Let's go ahead and grab Paladin. I'm on vacation from Paladin, but let's take a vacation from my vacation. Well, Equality is a pretty good card and it's the only playable one here, so we're gonna go ahead and pick it up. Between these two 5-drops, they both have their weaknesses. Gurubashi is slow to get going and can die to Stampeding Kodos, Shadow Word Pains, Cabal Shadow Priests, all kinds of stuff. Frostwolf Warlord is very high upside, but as we've seen in this channel, very high downside, which is that if you don't have creatures on the board and you're behind, he pretty much doesn't help you win. But I'm going to take him over the Gurubashi. Going to go for the bigger upside there. Okay, going to make a play here I wouldn't normally make. I do like the Frost Elemental a lot. I'm going to grab the Argent Squire. I find that Paladins are one of the many classes, actually most classes, that do not have a 1-mana creature, so you're relying on the neutral creatures if you're going to play any 1-mana creatures at all. And I feel like, you know, in an arena, even if you have just one 1-mana creature in your deck, you're probably going to see it at some point on turn 1, and a turn 1 creature I find makes just such a huge difference, even if it's a 1-power creature like the Argent Squire here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up just to make sure I have a few early plays, because Paladins, that seems to be an important thing for them. Crazy Alchemist. Now this is a card that's like, anytime you take it, you're like, well, this looks stupid, I bet it'll never matter. And you usually find some way for it to matter, but I'm not going to take it over a Twilight Drake. It's a Chillwind Yeti on crack, and it is good. Oh man, the Reckless Rocketeer, I don't know. I mean, pretty much the only way that I've ever seen this get used is to deal 5 damage as like a 6-mana 5 damage removal spell. So it's kind of like the Druid's Starfire, except it doesn't draw you a card. Now, Paladins are in fact lacking in removal, but I'm gonna take the Silencer. This is actually a more generally good card, I think, and it's a decent body as well. Alright, well, the Raven Old Assassin I've talked about before. I really just hate this card. It can be good, like it's like in a top deck situation, it is good, but the problem is that, compare this to a Stranglethorn Tiger. Tiger is 5 mana for 5/5 with stealth, you're paying 2 mana for 2 extra power. There is no way in the universe that's actually worth it. So I'm just going to take the Violet Teacher, because I have a reasonable alternative. Now, if this were like a Larmobot, sure, I'd take the Assassin and grumble about it, but the Violet Teacher has a great body, and, by the way, when I say that, I mean her 3/5 stats for 4 mana, of course, and the ability that can be pretty good as well. Oh my gosh, now here's an interesting thing. I've seen people making pretty good use of Redemption lately, and I'm starting to wonder if this is actually a playable secret. Basically, this is good with Divine Shield, it's good with Taunt. It's just a real pain in the butt sometimes. Now at the moment, but the thing is I think you have to kind of build your deck around it. At the moment, none of this stuff really works that well. The Argent Squire would come back, but we'll take the Booty Bay Bodyguard. He's been alright for me lately. And sometimes some Taunt is better than none. Well, here we have 2 Jackanapes, so Humility, it's an important out in some cases. You are sort of going down a card, as other people have mentioned. I still think it's good to have in your deck. It gets a lot better if you can get a Stampeding Kodo, but I'm going to take it here because these cards are just awful. Okay. Definitely not going to take Humility. Repentance is like just bad. We'll take a Guardian of Kings here. Pretty big dude, and the health gain can be very, very nice sometimes. Well, I do love the Imp Master, and the Imp Master goes very well with the Frostwolf Warlord, but I'm not going to pass up a chance to go for an Outdoor Peacekeeper. Compared to Humility, it's 2 extra mana. 2 extra mana for a 3/3 body on top of the effect is pretty darn sweet, so we're going to go ahead and grab that up pretty happily. Well, we have a choice of cards here that's pretty decent. Card draw is always nice. I'm going to take the Harvest Golem, though. I think this is just such a good 3-drop. I want to make sure I get one of those. Oh man, am I really going to pass up on another Imp Master when I have a Frostwolf Warlord in the deck? Yeah, because Argent Commander is just too good. Paladins do need removal, and this is sort of removal, so as sad as I am to pass on that Imp Master, I'm going to grab it here. Hammer of Wrath, speaking of removal, we'll grab that. So the Dark Iron Dwarf, definitely very good. Now, the thing that's making me question taking him is that I already have some 4-drops here. Granted, the Spellbreaker's not exactly a 4-drop, neither is the Hammer of Wrath, so I've got 2 4-mana creatures. The Wolf, well, I don't have any 2-mana creatures, and it accomplishes partially the same thing. I'd say that the Wolf is a little bit better for Paladins, obviously, because you've already got the recruits on the field. So we'll take the Wolf over the Dwarf. I think the Dwarf is obviously the better card in the abstract. If this were, you know, pack 1, pick 1, I would be taking the Dwarf, no hesitation. But just to make sure our curve doesn't have, like, you know, a giant gaping hole here in the low mana area, we'll take the Wolf. Okay, another Wolf opportunity, but I'm going to take the Darkscale Healer. It's a Chillwind Yeti that heals, and it is very, very strong. No! Why? Why do they have to be in the same pack? True Silver Champion's very good. I think Consecration is probably more important. I think that basically there have been more times in the game where I've been like, well, I lose unless I have Consecration, than there have been when I've been like, well, I lose unless I have True Silver Champion. So I'm going to take Consecration, but god damn it, that is annoying. The owl. I just don't like this owl. I'm just going to say it. I don't like it. It dies to mages. Mages are very popular. Silence. But what is this stuff here? I'll try Redemption. I guess we'll just try it, see how it goes. Have another chance for Dark Iron Dwarf. Again, I don't want to spike 4 mana too much. This is a pretty big dude, but Shattered Sun Cleric is so good. If this were anything less good than a Shattered Sun Cleric, I would take the Venture Code, but I think it's important to get some early plays and to have these buffs. Okay, I can take a Tantra, but I'm going to go for the more aggressive Wind Fury Harpy. And this is a pretty easy call here for me. The Injured Blade Master is a 4-3 for 3, which is totally fine. I happen to have some synergy with the Darkscale Healer. Not that that's likely to come up, but still, he's just a 4-3 for 3, which is very, very good. Argent Protector, very solid 2-drop, one of the best 2-drops out there. I'm not going to take a second Frostwolf Warlord, that's a bit greedy, we'll just take a Chillwind Yeti. I'm forced to take an expensive card, so I might as well. Hand of Protection is nifty, but what I'd much rather do is actually grab a Loot Hoarder here, because I don't have any card draw at the moment, and I do need some earlier plays. Currently don't have any of those. We can take the worst card in the game, a 2-1 for 1, or another Chillwind Yeti, so I seem to always end up spiking 4 mana here. This guy's 2-1. I never did get a True Silver Champion. Can't count on it. We'll take another Guardian of Kings. Oh my god, what is up with this deck? 2 redemptions? Is that too many redemptions? I think 1 is too many. Oh my god, I'm going to take the Ogre Mega. I just don't think I can support 2 of those damn things. Blessing of Wisdom. Over one of the best 5-drops in the game. I'll take the 5-drop. So this curve has ended up a little bit high, for sure. Someone's G-chatting me, I apologize, but that's alright. Man, I'm getting lots of Harvest Golems, but I think I need more 2-drops, so we'll take Fairy Dragon here. And another Argent Commander. I'm going to take the Kodo because it is removal, like the Argent Commander, and I have Humility, and this is going to be a really good combo. So we're going to go ahead and grab that Kodo and enjoy our life. Alright, so that is it. Pretty decent deck, I'd say. I mean, it's got some of the key cards. I'm always happy to get Kodo with Paladins to go over with, or to go along with my Humility effects. But, we'll see. It's definitely hard to say. Paladin is a class I've been performing exceptionally badly with. Not as badly as Hunter and Warlock, of course, but pretty badly. So we'll see how it goes. Hang on, give me just a moment to take care of a thing. Okay, so this hand, I don't want to keep this removal spell here, or do I? I'll keep it. This is fine. So I'll be subsisting on Argent Squire and Recruits for a little while, if my deck doesn't deliver me any early drops, which of course it didn't, but I do want to make sure I have this, just in case there's like a big thing that needs to die. The problem is, if my opponent gets off to a really aggressive start, then I'm just going to have to, this isn't going to be enough to keep it together, basically. Okay, at least I'm second, so if she has a Mana Worm, there won't be any coin mirror image shenanigans. Oh god. Goldshire Footman. Well, that card's terrible, but it is very good here, unfortunately for me, because she can now actually take care of this Argent Squire, and her Goldshire Footman is still going to live. Alright. Well, she's making a pretty reasonable decision here. Basically, she's choosing to not kill my Argent Squire in favor of instead putting another creature on the board, which is a totally legit decision. I can't really kill this Footman. I can run into it, of course, but then it'll just get pinged off. I could make a Recruit, or I could coin out this Injured Blade Master. The Injured Blade Master is going to die to Goldshire Footman plus hero ability, but then, of course, the Argent Squire gets to live. So I could maybe, like, coin out the Blade Master, leave the Divine Shield on. Although, what does that really give me? I don't know. This seems weird. I'm just gonna pop the Divine Shield so I get some value out of it, and we'll see what happens. Definitely on my back foot here. Obviously, she had a 1-drop and a 2-drop to my 1-drop and nothing, so it's kind of inevitable that I'd be on the back foot. Plus, she's a freaking mage. Like, if this were a priest with the same cards, I'd feel a lot more secure, because, you know, the priest can't just kill me at will. Granted, the priest could have healed up that damage, but I wouldn't have attacked him in the first place. So anyway, this opponent is playing by the rule of don't let paladins keep creature, which I cannot begrudge him for. I'm hesitant to use my coin, just honestly because I want to coin out the Stampeding Kodo. The Kodo always comes a turn too late, so we're just going to Play the Blade Master. I'm not going to coin out Consecration or anything like that. We're just going to keep it together here. Notice how good this Goldshire Footman was. Just a regular old 1-drop, even a pretty crappy one. It was good just because it was on turn 1. And, you know, that's all you need sometimes. Depending on what happens here, with 1 mana, she could still have an Arcane Missile here. And finish this guy off. With the help of at least 1 missile landing on it, plus the Goldshire Footman. But if she doesn't do that, then Consecration might be alright. Actually, no. Consecration would leave us alive. And then, oh, she's going to 2-for-1. Holy cow. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if that was a bad play, but it definitely didn't work out well for her. Kadoosh. Well, all of a sudden, we're back in it to win it. That was a heck of a turnaround. Obviously, the mage, you know, is a bit behind here. She has 5 cards to my 5, plus I have a creature on the board. And I was the second player, so I don't really have an extra card, and she could definitely come back and win this easily enough. Notice how Hammer of Wrath is just so inadequate here for taking care of business. Alright, well, I might want to kill the Squire, I think. The alternative is to use Hammer of Wrath plus the Kodo to kill this thing. Now what I could do is I could actually cast Humility on the Silverhand Knight, which would allow me to preserve the Stampeding Kodo, because the Kodo would then only get hit for 1 damage, it'd be at 4 health, and then the Hammer of Wrath would finish off. But granted, if I'm making this into a Humiliated Knight, I might as well just use Hammer of Wrath on this thing. I could also play the Booty Bay. Boy. Man, if I run into the Squire, this guy can finish me off and live. The Kodo just doesn't quite hit hard enough. Here's what I'll do, though. I'll do this, get the kill, and we'll do that. So, I'm trading the Booty Bodyguard for the Silverhand Knight, and I was able to take care of the Squire with my Kodo and live to tell about it, so I'm okay here, I think. If she has removal for this, as she very well may, being a mage, then the Argent Commander will pick off this Knight, and I'll be okay. Well, until a Flame Strike hits, because everything I have dies to Flame Strike. Of course, it should go without saying. What do I have that doesn't die to Flame Strike? I've got those 2 Justices. I've got the Wind Fury Harpy, barely. The Darkscale Healer, barely. And a few Chillwind Yetis, like 1 or 2. Well, at least 2. I have 2 or 3 Chillwind Yetis. But they all survive just by 1 hit point, so in the end game, it's not really going to count as survival. Someone made a very good post on Reddit recently saying that priests and mages aren't overpowered, they're just not fun to play against, and I think that really hit the nail on the head. I think that person was totally right. Like, from a strict balance perspective, they're probably fine. They're just so obnoxious to play against that makes me want them to be different. So, I don't know why she did that. I'm not sure what the Arcane Explosion accomplished, other than, I guess, giving the Violet Apprentice a chance at life. Well, the Argent Commander is not quite good enough to take out this Violet Teacher, unless, of course, I also throw in the Stampeding Kodo, which is sort of sad. The Hammer of Wrath, notice, is unremarkable. I could throw the Kodo in and the Hammer of Wrath, and then what I do with the rest of my turn, play a Fairy Dragon? Bleh. Let's just go ahead and play a Twilight Drake. We'll make a Recruit. I don't really need the Fairy Dragon at the moment. And we're going to go ahead and kill this thing off. Well, I could run it into the Violet Teacher just to prime this thing for Consecration. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do this. So now, basically, if my opponent, you know, makes more 1/1s, they all die to Consecration. If she plays like a big thing, I can finish this off with Hammer of Wrath. I've got options, basically. Got some options. My apologies, folks. The curse of the G-chats. Alright, so more stuff happened. We got some spell damage here for the Paladin, which is always a little bit scary. Alright, well, so the Shattered Sun Cleric buffed the Violet Teacher, and that makes Hammer of Wrath even more enticing. Problem is, then I only have 3 mana, and 3 mana is not quite as much mana as I would like. Balls. I think I'm still going to do this, though. I think it's more to take that off while I have the chance. Loot Hoarder. That's interesting. So here, I think I need to take care of this. The only question is, do I play Humility? Humility with the Twilight Drake would essentially be acting as a heal 3 on the Drake, which is not very good value for a 1-mana card. That's kind of the downfall of Humility, that's for sure. But it actually makes kind of a big difference, though, because if I only take 1 damage from this Ogre Magi, then it's going to leave the Twilight Drake at 5 health rather than 2, and then that means it would actually still survive against the Shattered Sun Cleric. So it's got a qualitative value here. However, I could also humiliate this thing and just kill the Shattered Sun Cleric, leave this as a humiliated 1/4. But then she has spell damage. What is she going to use spell damage for? Nothing, really. Alright, we're going to do this. We're going to humiliate this thing. We're going to kill the Shattered Sun Cleric. And here, I think I will play the Fairy Dragon. It can't be targeted by the Mage's hero ability. And it might help me trade up against something else later on if I'm going to be playing Consecration next turn or the Argent Commander. I think part of what makes mages unfun to play against is the freezing. Having your creatures killed, that's bad, but having them frozen in a way is just so irksome that I think maybe Blizzard probably... I mean the company, not the spell. I think Blizzard probably undercosted the healing spells a little bit. Frostbolt. Ah, it's unfortunate. So the humility on this hasn't really done a whole lot. Okay, well, let's take a look at the situation here. Argent Protector, that's like free damage, basically. I think I'll do it. Let's just put the Divine Shield here. Deal 3 damage for free to that guy. And I could now Consecrate, but I think instead I'd rather just play the Argent Commander and take care of business. So a Flame Strike, as is so often the case, will kill my team. However, that would be pretty much her whole turn. And she's still down on cards. Okay, now she's not quite as down on cards as she used to be. So yeah, the humility on this, I think, paid for itself. It kind of keeps a bunch of my creatures alive. This Fairy Dragon could have already been dead. Then this guy would be on his way to death. Now they both live. Oh, does she have a secret? She actually has a secret. Damn it! Ugh. That sucks. Well, she also has a trash rare, so I guess I can't complain too much. Okay. Consecration's not quite good enough here unless I draw my own Ogre Magi, in which case it suddenly becomes a Wrecking Ball powerhouse. Holy crap. One priority here is to figure out what secret that is. One of Papa Boris's proverbs. I should find a better name for them. Papa Boris's adages. Papa Boris's pearls of wisdom. I'm not sure. Is that you should always check for a Mirror Entity before you check for Vaporize. So let's go ahead and drop Loot Hoarder to check for a Mirror Entity. It's not Mirror Entity. Okay. Let's go ahead then and... how do I do this? Well, let's just kill my damaged creature for the best creature she has. That seems good. Let's finish this off. You know what? Let's just kill things. That seems totally fine. So, yeah, I'll play this guy. It wastes a point of healing, but it puts a really big bounty on the board that survives against Flame Strike. And I've got a couple of different things to check for a Vaporize here, so I should be safe from that threat. Oh, I've got there's 2 secrets. Okay. That's great. Okay, well, let's go ahead and check for Vaporize then. Something. It is a Vaporize. Well, Loot Hoarder is about the best thing you would possibly lose to a Vaporize. Not only did your mage opponent spend 3 mana on a removal spell for a 2-mana creature, but that creature also drew you a card, which is pretty sweet. Now, here, this could now be a Mirror Entity. Oh, jeez! Always check for Mirror Entity before you attack. Oh, silly me. I'm a silly goose. Ah, Jesus. Crap. I'm just gonna pass the turn here. I really don't want to give her a Chillwind Yeti. That's just unacceptable. If I'm gonna give her a Chillwind Yeti, I want to kill it right away with the Guardian. Okay. So this thing is getting pinged down. At this point, I'm just gonna trade it in for her Ogre Magi. That seems easy enough. So, well, I got a Frostwolf Warlord, so okay. Let's check for a Mirror Entity. I'm going to keep the Ogre Magi in my hand because I might want to play it later with Consecration. So we'll play Chillwind Yeti. Okay, it's not Mirror Entity. Oh gosh. Well, I attacked, so it wasn't an Ice Barrier. There was a Vaporize in play at the same time as the secret, so it's not a Vaporize. So it's, could be Ice Block, but most likely it is just a, it is a Spellbender or a Counterspell. Oh god, did I really just attack first before playing the Frostwolf Warlord? Whoops. That was very silly of me. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't matter too much in this case. We have a lot of damage here, and Flame Strike is actually hilariously inadequate. Alright, that creature doesn't really do anything, so we'll see if she top decks a Blizzard. Wow. I think his mage misdrafted. I mean, it's possible. It's possible, but very unlikely that there would actually be that many Ogre Magi that were like the best card in their packs. What was it, like 3 Ogre Magis? Just too many Ogre Magis. Alright, that was a good game against the Mage. We were scared of the spells that she could play, but then she didn't end up playing any of them, so that's great. Let's go ahead and see who our next worthy opponent is. So, with mages, I think the thing that's especially true for me against mages, and this is true for priests as well, is you're always afraid. Like, you're just always afraid. I mean, I imagine if you were new to the game and you didn't know what was going on, you would just play against mages and priests and be like, tra-la-la-la, la-di-da-di-da, who cares? But if once you know what's going on, you're always afraid, like, every moment of every game against a mage. You're just afraid that something terrible is about to happen. Because it probably is. I'm gonna send back the Frostwolf Warlord because if the early game goes badly, Frostwolf Warlord is just like the worst 5-mana drop you could have possibly chosen to keep. So I don't want to plan around the opening going well. I mean, if I happen to top deck him and the opening has gone well, that's obviously great. But if the opening goes badly, then I don't really want him in my life. Now this is a pretty interesting starting hand. It's not. It's a bit awkward, really. This is the kind of hand you want to be first with. So you can pass on turn 1, Fairy Dragon turn 2, play a 3-drop on turn 3. Here it's a bit awkward because, of course, you can still play the Fairy Dragon on turn 2 and a 3-drop on turn 3, but what you really want to do is, like, use your coin, but you can't. Because if you use your coin on the Fairy Dragon, then on turn 2 there's nothing you can do other than make a recruit. And then if you use your coin on a 3-drop on turn 2, then you're missing the Fairy Dragon. So it's a bit awkward, is what I'm saying. So do I coin out the Fairy Dragon here? I don't think so. This is a warrior, pretty reasonable that he's going to have a Fiery War Axe. If he does, I don't want to rush headlong into it. Well, now of course I wish that I had in fact played my Fairy Dragon because I could take this thing out. Yeah, it's fine. Well, how aggressive do I want to be here? Do I want to coin into a Harvest Golem and really threaten to kill this thing? Maybe I'll do that. I think that's a reasonable use of a coin. So basically I'm using a coin to try to kill this thing rather than trade with it. I guess it's a fair value for the coin. Plus I have a 3-drop to play and other good stuff coming up. So yeah, she could play a 4-drop here, which is a bit frustrating. But if it's like a Chillwind Yeti, let's say, then I can humiliate it. It'll become a 1-5, which is still annoying, but definitely not as annoying as a 4-5. And then kill off the Pine-Sized Summoner. I would say then the opening was a wash, and it all depends on how the mid-game goes down before we can place any bets. If, however, all he does is play like a 3-drop and waste the extra mana because he doesn't have any 4-drops in his hand, which is very likely, then I'd say that everything is totally fine and I came out ahead. Fiery War Axe, well, he could still play a 2-drop here because of the Pine-Sized Summoner. Does he have a 2-drop to play? Ah, the Pine-Sized Summoner actually did absolutely nothing then. I can actually play... Oh man, Redemption on a Harvest Golem is so good. But, crap. I don't think it makes any sense to play that here, does it? Huh. I could do something wacky like play Fairy Dragon in Redemption. He'll probably think it's Noble Sacrifice. He'll swing at the Fairy Dragon, it'll connect. It's basically as good as a Noble Sacrifice. It'll basically use up the Fiery War Axe. Yeah, I think I like this move a lot. So we're going to get rid of the Pine-Sized Summoner because you obviously want to do that. And now I'll play my Fairy Dragon and then Redemption. So one nice thing about this is if you assume that your opponent knows what he's doing, which will sometimes be true and sometimes not. Sometimes you'll be a new player. It'll be just a new player who doesn't know what's going on. But if it's someone who knows what he's doing, he'll assume this is a Noble Sacrifice. And he will now strike at this Fairy Dragon. Oh my gosh, this is getting ugly. Oh my gosh, this is getting ugly. So he'll be surprised now that wasn't Noble Sacrifice. This thing gets bigger. Redemption comes online. Unfortunately, this is one of like the few 3-drops in the game that has 4 health, which is very irksome. Now 5 health. Ugh. So Hammer of Wrath, that would do it, I suppose. Plus the Fairy Dragon. And then this Priestess is still around, and that was my whole turn, which seems a little bit sucky. Can't play this, though, because I've already used my coin. This guy doesn't hit hard enough. Excuse me, this guy doesn't hit hard enough because of the Young Priestess. Ah! Damn it. I could trade for the Young Priestess, leave this guy alive. No, I think the least of all evils here is to get this guy off the board before things get even worse. So I would say that I'm now behind because of the Frothing Berserker and the Young Priestess. But still definitely anyone's game. I have the cards. Well, actually, no, I don't have the cards, do I? I really don't have the cards here. Yeah, the Fiery War Eggs really helped him out against that Harvest Golem. I guess it's a good thing I had the Harvest Golem, or else it would have been even worse, but... See what he's got here. Raid Leader. That's actually not the scariest thing in the world. I'm okay with that. I wish I had some more removal. If I had Consecration, I would even play that, even though it's my whole turn. I think the card advantage would be worth it. Plus this extra health business is getting to be a mite annoying. Let's see, this just dies to the Young Priestess. We'll actually just spend all of our mana here. So my opponent needs some help. It's not unlikely for him to have an extra point of damage sitting around somewhere, but as I often say, a mostly dead creature is better than an already dead creature, you know. Most of the time, yes, he'll just kill off the Booty Bay Bodyguard without a problem, but some of the time, the warrior won't actually have the spell he needs or the card he needs, and in that case, the Booty Bay Bodyguard will live. So even if this dies, I assume, barring a Mortal Strike, it'll take out one of these creatures with it. So then I'll be able to play Argent Commander next turn and hopefully kill something else he has. He's just gonna play a Twilight Drake and armor up. Well, that's great. So he didn't have the answer for this, and in fact, he's just gonna do nothing. Well, that's interesting. Let's see. I have a couple of options here. As is so often the case, I could play the Argent Commander and just kill off this Raid Leader. That would unfortunately only drop the Twilight Drake to a 4, so it would still be killing off the Booty Bay, but then I could kill the Young Priestess, only take 2 damage, so I'd have, in that case, a 4-3 with no Divine Shield and a 5-2 up against a 4-5. So that's good. That's pretty good. And now another option is I could play Shattered Sun Cleric on this, make it a 6-5. Then play play the Outdoor Peacekeeper on the Twilight Drake, make it a 1-5. Swing with my 6-5 onto the 1-5, and then I becomes a 6-4, and this thing is dead. So the advantage of that play is if this was the best that he could do on his turn, just play a Twilight Drake and armor up, then chances are he's not he's not gonna have anything better next turn as far as killing this is concerned. So it becoming a 6-4 means, in theory, it should still be good. So, and I've put more creatures on the board while doing this. The disadvantage is that I've used my Peacekeeper, but I still have a Humility. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna do this and this, and we're going to. Oh, I forgot the Raid Leader's buffing it. That was shoot. I forgot about that. So yeah, now the Young Priestess can actually trade for the Booty Bay. All right, I take it all back. This probably would have been the better move. Just Argent Commander and stay with the 5-2, because that also leaves this ready to trade with the Young Priestess, but it takes an extra creature off of the board. So, yep, I should have played this instead. Hopefully, this will still be good at some point, and nothing too terrible will happen here. Oh, jeez. So now, now my opportunity to get rid of this Raid Leader has come and gone. This has a maddening 5 health, so I can't kill it with the Argent Commander. The correct play here is to trade the Young Priestess for the Booty Bay, because otherwise the Booty Bay will kill the Sunwalker once the Divine Shield is popped. And my opponent is in fact going to make that correct play. Crap! Ugh. This sucks. Consecration is interesting. Let's think about that. So I could do a quality Consecration. So that could just doesn't kill them both. I'd have to throw away another creature to pop the Divine Shield. That seems actually pretty bad. But if let's say I Consecrate. This lives with 1 health because of this stupid Young Priestess. This goes, Divine Shield gets popped.
Let me think.
Then I have 3 mana left over. I could still cast Humility on this, and then run in both my creatures and live to tell about it. But why do that when I can just Humility, pop Divine Shield, Argent Commander, and finish it off? Okay, we're gonna do that. I should have killed the Raid Leader. That is a fact. So now I guess a bit vulnerable to a Whirlwind. But luckily, even with the Young Priestess's boon, these two can still trade with the Raid Leader pound for pound. In case things get out of control, I've got this combo in my hand. I want to keep this as long as I can. I'll use it obviously if I need to use it, but this will get you out of like anything. Other than Divine Shield creatures, this will get you out of any situation. So I just want to, you know, not blow it until I need to.
Don't mess with Tusk.
Well, is it worth Consecration plus a quality now, or do I just keep on trading? It's the question. Man, if I drew my Ogre Magi, that would be awesome. Then I could save the quality for later. He is going to take the safe road here and trade, which is totally reasonable. Or not. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He doesn't. Okay. Reasonable choice. Twilight Drake. It's a 4-4. Oh man, it's not gonna get any better. I think I'm just gonna do this. And let's make this dude. We'll trade our damaged guy for this. dude, and we're gonna go ahead and whack that. So now the little boar will be able to kill off my Argent Commander, but I've got 2 pretty deep, and I got a way to clear out anything he might choose to play. I guess if he plays really one huge creature, then I'll be sad to have to use a Quality plus Consecration just to kill it. That also is pretty resistant to the whole combo thing I got going on. But it seems unlikely because he's been playing a lot of aggressive stuff, so it doesn't seem super likely he would drop anything gigantic on me. And he didn't. Oh man, Ogre Magi would be so good! Please? Nope, not a chance. Alright, Consecration's not quite good enough. I don't want to use a quality here. Let's just kill that off. Kill that off. Play this and this. And we'll hang on to our ace in the hole here. I might be playing too passively, but I feel like with, you know, the creatures that I have, I can just ride this one out on card advantage. Oh no, that's a good card. Damn, I should have really thought about that possibility. And a Raging Worgen, okay. So he gets to kill the Yeti. But he's out of cards completely, and I haven't answered anything that he can play, so I don't know, I think I'm okay. His armor up is not nearly as good as my reinforcing in this top deck war that we have. Alright, Show Wind Yeti number 2 drops down. Do I actually play it? Let's hang on to it. If he gets desperate enough, he will use his Arcanite Reaper on my minions.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Ah, it's a maddening 3 health. Why does everything have 3 health? Damn it. Dark Scale Healer. Ha. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do this. This. And now I will play these both, although I am wasting the healing potential. He can't kill them both with the Arcanite Reaper, so I feel pretty comfortable about this. He has an Ogre Magi. Boo. So unfortunately, I can kill this directly, but I can't like soften these things up to die to Consecration. I can soften up the Shattered Sun Cleric to die to Consecration, but not the Ogre Magi. I could of course play a Quality Consecration and clear things out. I would then be saying that basically I'm ahead in the top deck war. But I you know, used up 2 cards to kill his 2 things. Alright, we'll play a Wind Fury Harpy. Seems like a good move.
Where shall I strike?
We'll kill this off. And, let's do that. Okay, so he needs to top deck an answer to the Wind Fury Harpy, or else he's going to be in a whole lot of pain very soon. That isn't going to do it for him. Shattered Sun Cleric should probably trade against a Darkscale Healer, I would say. Yep. So I could Consecrate here just to clear out the Pint-Sized Summoner. This is even better. Oh man. Poor, poor opponent. There are still cards you could have that would keep him in the game, like a Brawl, for example. Or a Mind Control tech stealing the Wind Fury Harpy. However, I can kill anything he plays, other than, of course, a thing with Divine Shield. But even then I can pop Divine Shield and then kill anything he plays and just keep on smacking him. Oh gosh, that might have been like a... See, what could that have been? That could have been perhaps like a Execute, and none of my minions are damaged. Okay, well... Do I need this Violet Teacher? No, I'm still threatening the kill. So, in case of a Brawl, let's not throw this away. Win for your Harpy. It's decent. It's not a bad card, folks. And it helps us win right there. And Turok the Warrior goes down. Stampeding Coda was icing on the cake, but as it turns out, I didn't even need my ace in the hole, so I could have just killed the Pint-Sized Summoner with Consecration. All right, well, that was one of the best Paladin starts that we have had in a long, long time. So, if you enjoyed this video, do please like and or subscribe. We're just going to do the first couple of games here and the rest of the games in an upcoming video to split things up and make it a little bit more palatable for ye with short attention spans. And if you do want to see the rest of the games, then stay tuned because they're going to be coming up soon. I'll see you in a bit.